Welcome back. It's Kovacs Report. We have some Age of Revelation previews to get through. Yes. The first one being one of my favourite characters, in fact, Laura Kinney. Yes, Laura Kinney, X-23, Wolverine. She's gone by many names, but has always remained one of my favourite characters from the Marvel comic book universe. Now she has her own tie-in, Laura Kinney, Sabretooth #1. Now we're going to go for this article, see what we can find out. There's some finished, I think 5 preview pages of the book, which again, I think is out next week, maybe this Wednesday, and we can find out what we've got in store, maybe get a little taste. So there will be spoilers. I'll tell you right now, there will be spoilers. Cover your ears, close your eyes if you don't want to see anything too early. But what you can do is like the video. That would be amazing. And even better, if you're new, hit subscribe. Trying to grow the channel here, trying to build it into an honest opinion channel, be your go-to place for getting the average man's honest, truthful opinion on all these little funny books that come out every week. So, X years later, a savage new beginning. Yes, a savage new beginning. However, she has had many runs in the past. Some good, some bad. My favourite runs would probably be Tom Taylor run and the Mariko Tamaki run. Those, for me, were quite exceptional and very definitive of the character. I really fell in love with her then. I mean, I've been following her since, I think, her initial X-20, was it NYX? NYX, maybe, in 2003, where she debuted. So it's been a long time. She's almost 25 years in the comic book universe, and I think it's time she got some more good storylines, because the current run, let's be honest, the current run has been terrible. I'm not going to mince my words. The current run by Erica Schultz has been more or less a character assassination, has been butchered. And again, I've told you about those honest opinions. You might not like them, but they're my opinions. The book, for me, has been an absolute failure. I've absolutely hated it. It's been cancelled, not just because a lot of these mainline books are temporarily going away for these fill-in books to take their place, but because purely it hasn't been good. I don't think the sales line has been great either. So why am I going to read this book when Erica Schultz is also writing it? Well, do you know what? It's a different concept. It's switched around. She's taken on the mantle of Sabretooth. Maybe she'll get it right this time. So I'm all for second chances, much like the Wolverines. So this article rests a lot of its, information on Philadelphia, because Philadelphia is ground zero for the whole of the Age of Revelation event. It's where the X virus, which we'll talk about in a second, was originated. It's where Doug Ramsey, the heir of Apocalypse, Revelation himself, has set up base and basically formed his dictatorship over mutant kind. So what is this X virus? I think it's quite important that we sort of look into that. So this, like I say, began in Philadelphia, and it's been responsible for terraforming the environment and turning the rest of humanity into mutants. So even the sort of environment is mutant kind in a sense. It's quite interesting. The virus was the key tool for Revelation to establish his mutant dictatorship, and the deployment of this was originally blamed on 3K, the terrorist organization in the Marvel U, but it wasn't them. No. But who are 3K? There's a lot to learn. So 3K, they're a terrorist organization introduced in the From the Ashes era, I think, and their aim was to replace humanity with a new race of mutant-like beings by experimenting on and transforming humans into mutants. Now, the name 3K alludes to the Ku Klux Klan, highlighting the group's origins in white supremacist ideology and bigotry. So that's some of the background going into this. I think it's quite important that we know. So let's talk about it. So Love Park, Temple University, stadiums full of Eagles fans. I think they are really centering the story and trying to keep it, I don't know, sort of based in reality a little bit. So I think there's lots of landmarks will show up in here. So if you're a Philadelphian, you're probably in for a treat. I noticed they mentioned Love Park, and I'm a skateboarder, have been all my life. So that was a legendary skate spot, a mecca for skateboarders. So it's cool to see that place included. So yes, I think Philly will definitely be represented in this book. Now we've got these pages. So here's the cover. The cover looks really cool, actually. We'll find out who did that. So X years later, a savage new beginning. She looks great coming out of that sort of mist and the bush. Market Street, I guess that's probably another famous Philadelphian street. Thought I'd make note of that. So this costume looks cool. You can see the influences of the Sabretooth, sort of with a bit of Wolverine in there. I mean, the colouring is obvious, but that big furry collar and those sort of tasseled furry wrists. Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, she looks cool. She does look cool. So we're off to a good start. So let's see what it says. It says, 10 years ago, the X virus swept the US after the detonation of a gene bomb. Millions died. Those who survived became mutants. The affected areas grew into the Revelation territories, a mutant nation ruled by Doug Ramsey, aka Revelation. He can command people with just a word and strip anyone who defies him of their ability to communicate at all, turning them into babbles. Some mutants have joined Revelation's ranks as his choristers, and the choristers are basically mutants whose power is to accentuate or amplify other mutants' powers. So that's pretty much essential role in how he's become so powerful, and how Revelation can not just talk to one or two people in the vicinity, but talk to basically, the whole world essentially. And his seraphim, who are basically his sort of like elite warriors. But beneath the surface, resistance is stirring. Now, we've had a couple of books out already, as preludes to this whole event. We had the one shot a while back, I forget what it's called. And this week we had, I think it was called Overture, where we've learned a few things. The story's been kicking off in X-Men. Most notably X-Men 22, which came out last week, where Doug Ramsey came to the X-Men base and asked to join the X-Men. And after a vote, he was accepted. And at that point, Cyclops fell to his knees, and they had this mind blast where he was transported, or rather his consciousness was transported into that one shot, the Overture one shot, where we find out him and Beast had been transferred over to the 10 years later bodies of their future selves. So it's all kicking off, I guess. So healing factor, enhanced sensors, deadly sharp claws. Laura Kinney, the mutant once known as X-23, was bred to be the perfect killer, but she's left the life behind, forging her own path alongside her mutant comrades and family as a force for good in an unkind world. However, 10 years later, things have changed. So Erica Schultz, artist Valentina Pinti, and that beautiful cover was by Elena Casagrande and Edgar Delgado. There we go. So yeah, she has taken the mantle of Sabretooth, the arch nemesis of the Wolverines. And that's a big thing. That is a big thing. So 10 years from now, Philadelphia, PA, the Revelation territory. We see lots of people having fun. I'm guessing they're mutants. They mostly look human. There's a few that, there's a sort of a turtle-looking dude here. I guess they're all living the sort of utopian mutant life they've all been waiting for here. Some of the buildings are quite dilapidated. Looks like there's been battles there. You can see the bridge is a little bit derelict too. So I guess Laura Kinney is narrating here. She says, this is what mutants wanted all along, the ability to be themselves and live their lives without fear. It took a lot to get us here, though, before the government tried to destroy Revelation's compound. We've got two people here sneaking in the shadows over the bridge, and the bridge looks overgrown. So again, that's another thing you'll notice, that a lot of the greenery has sort of really, really mutated and grown into the fact where it's sort of overtaking cities. You'll see that in Overture. So before the government tried to destroy Revelation's compound, they sent in supervillains and assassins to stop us, to stop the inevitable. Now that sounds cool. I'm sure that story's going to be picked up. I'd love to see the villains fighting Revelation. So these thugs killed innocents all because they were mutants. And no matter how many of these attackers I maimed, they just kept coming for us. The humans wanted to exterminate us. Now she said maimed, which is really interesting, okay? So it's showing that she's still retaining some of those moral values of a Wolverine, of kind of not killing. So that's very interesting. Okay, we jump to Philadelphia Naval Yard. So this looks like Gabby and Akira to me. So Gabby, if you don't know, she was one of the youngest clones of Laura Kinney, created by the Alchemax genetics. And after rebelling against Alchemax with her sisters and taking revenge of them, her fellow clone sister, Bellona, left Gabby in Laura's care. And they have been incredibly close ever since. And this, of course, like I say, is Aki or Akira. Now, he's the son of Wolverine and Itsu, and he was known by the alias Daken, Dark Wolverine. He inherited Wolverine's powers of immortality, longevity, and the bone claws, but he was initially raised by his mother's clan after Itsu's death and subjected to training and torture. So he has a complicated history too. He later sought revenge against Wolverine and for a little time served as a villain, even taking on his father's mantle before eventually becoming a hero, as they always do. He's also been a member of the Marauders under the codename Fanged, being killed and resurrected several times, as you'd expect, during his career as both a villain and a hero, with the most recent being when Sabretooth actually killed and dismembered him. Anyway, Akira was later resurrected by the demon Bagragul, I think it's called, who bonded him, or with him, to become the Spirit of Vengeance Wolverine, which is another mini-series that I think's still going or maybe ending soon. So there's so much to know with these X books because there's so many characters. It's hard to know who's done what to who, when, what timeline we're in. But anyway, here we are. Gabby and Aki. He says, I realised that if I was to keep my promise to help and save mutants, if I really was a one mutant army, then I needed to make a big change. So she calls herself a one mutant army because that's currently what's going on in the book. She's this one mutant army that's going out there and trying to make the world safer for mutants and everything else. So why did I cyber Revelation? I don't know. Because he protects all mutants, even the ones who don't agree with him. Okay, so what are they up to here? She's got this green necklace here. Maybe that's going to be something, right? I mean, you don't draw something in just for nothing, right? Anyway, what does she say? She says, you think Sage could use some more parts from here? Okay, again, I'm going to explain who some of these characters are because my X-Men knowledge isn't great. And in a lot of these X-Men books, there are so many characters and you have no idea what they're referring to half the time. So Sage is a powerful, powerful mutant with like a computer brain. And that grants her sort of the superhuman intelligence, photographic memory, advanced processing power, and allows her to act pretty much like a living supercomputer. So that makes sense that she probably be involved here. So Aki says, "Dunno, Gabs. All these ships look like they've been picked clean, and it does look that way, doesn't it? This looks like this sort of graveyard of ships." Aki, I don't even know why I came. You're not here for Laura. You're here for Alex. Don't punish him for Laura's decisions. Now, I don't know who Alex is. I'm guessing it's Alex Wilder from the Runaways, Doc Justice. I guess that Gabby, being a young mutant, would probably join another bunch of young adventurers, mutants, runaways. So maybe that's Alex Wilder. I'm not sure. Maybe that's sort of happening in the Runaways book. I only read the first issue a while back. I can't really remember what happened in it. Maybe it is. You can let me know if I'm right or wrong. So she goes, I hate it when you're right. Gabby and Akira were once my whole world. We didn't think you'd show up, but the world has changed. And here she comes out of the graveyard. There's some dude hiding there, looking in the corner. I'm not sure who that is. She's looking angry. She looks very, very, very angry. She looks very angry. Obviously older, more womanly than she's currently is, because this is 10 years later, right? She is looking like she is on a mission. Well, if it isn't Sabretooth. So it looks like these two have had a bit of a sort of family feud and they've fallen out. So this is it. Not much of a preview, not enough to get me super excited, but not enough to turn me away from the book because I'm still going to read it. I'm looking forward to it. So, like I say, Erica Schultz, Valentina Pinti. Let's see what the official synopsis says to end the video. So the all-new Sabretooth, 10 years later, she's taken the name of once bitter enemy Sabretooth and fights beside Revelation himself. Why did Laura Kinney abandon her legacy? What secrets does she keep from the mutant world? When loyalty changes, blood means everything. Now, are they referring to blood as in family? Who knows? However, let's be honest, all of these events, as fun as they may be, aren't going to make a blind bit of difference, really, in the ongoing Marvel Universe. This is a distraction for 6 to 8 months, however long it's going to last, where everything is pretty much reversed as we sort of return to the present with the future saved. But anyway, it might be a fun ride. We will see. But that book is out very, very soon. Well, there we go. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like Laura Kinney? Did you enjoy the Erica Schultz run? I'll pause for effect there because I certainly didn't. Like I say, it's been cancelled, and not just because the mainline books are being temporarily suspended while these fill-ins take their place during the Age of Revelation. That book had it coming. It was terrible. The sales numbers must have been down, and it really, really, really didn't resonate with, I think, the majority of Laura Kinney fans. Well, especially not this one. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm definitely interested to hear yours. Like the video if you can. Subscribe. That would make my day. That would make my absolute day. Thank you very much in advance. We'll see you in the next video.